So do you find yourself closing out trades too early?
Keelan McGee asks, how do you deal with closing out a successful trade too early?
So a pretty common question there from Keelan, and I can appreciate your frustration there, because I think it's fairly obvious to say that it happens to most people. Being quite fearful in the moment is what I attribute it to, but when you've got a trade open and you're in profit, that the impulse is just to hit the button and close out the green. And sometimes doing the right thing and sitting on it a bit longer can be quite hard, particularly as you're learning. In fact, it reminds me of a book that I read not too long ago, The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, and I remember a line in that book, because when I read that line I thought, yeah, I can really relate to that, saying that the first and last eighth of every trade is the most dangerous, which is fairly obvious, I suppose, when you think about it, but this is what we're talking about here, really, with closing out too early. So a lot of people are kind of like scared in the moment, and I think that that's probably the number one reason, other than getting a completely bad read on the situation, and that's because obviously they're worried about missing out and turning a profit into a loss, which is like the number one killer type scenario for everyone, being wrong, all that kind of stuff, and just losing in general, really. The best advice that I can give, and I've said it many times before, to reduce that sort of stress level and fear of losing out, is to, one, reduce your stakes, if that's happening to you quite a lot, and two, look at scaling out your position, because we are talking about a longer term position here, I'm presuming, when you're asking that question there, Keelan, saying about closing out too early, because obviously scalp trading is very fast and you're expecting to be out pretty quick. So it's fairly simple, but you kind of need to be aware of the fear, be aware of yourself, be aware of how you're feeling in the moment, and actually keep reading the market rather than reading your own emotions and how you're feeling in that moment. So accepting it is far easier said than done, but that's what we're talking about here. So I'm not like special and have special powers or anything like that. I'm the same as everyone else. I still do it now. In fact, you may have seen a trade earlier in the week where I'll put it up on the screen now, but I posted up on Twitter and I got on at a short price in the morning and off later on near post time. I missed like a good 6, 7, maybe even 8 ticks off at the end of that, which was unfortunate because it would have been a nice extra bit of profit, but these things just happen. So what I'm saying is, how do I deal with it? I kind of don't even look at it as dealing with it. I just look at it as it's something that happens. As long as you get a good read on the situation anyway and you end up profitable over the longer term, that's the important thing. I don't look at it as a mistake or a loss or something that's wrong or missing out, all them kind of things, because as soon as you start to go down that path, you're on for a bit of a, it's going to be more rocky, it's going to be trickier to manage. So just accept the fact that you're unfortunate at times, and obviously chance plays itself out over a longer period. And I mean, in fact, on the other hand, when you think about it, do you worry about the times when you got a bit lucky? Because it's just the complete opposite. The times where you might have had a stake sat outside the price and this crazy fill comes in and fills it, and you're sat there looking at 5 ticks profit, because that happens as well. You don't beat yourself up about that. So what I'm saying is just accept the fact that part of it is just chance and how the markets work, and they are erratic and you can't be completely right all the time, but don't even look at it as a problem, really. And if it is a problem and you're aware it's a problem, not because of your trading ability, but because of how you're feeling in the moment, then lower your stakes, look at scaling it out, and pretty standard kind of stuff there.